So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And wanted to just talk for a minute about women in quantum and introduce you to this group in case you don't know about it. This is our first annual award, so we're really excited to start doing this. This is kind of it's a new direction we're going to be taking the group over the next year. So Women in Quantum started in 2019. It's a worldwide group, and we now have a community of over 9,000 members. So when you look at different trade shows or different groups, this is really an amazing achievement to have so many people on our email list and so many people participating. So it's really great. We've had a lot of different sponsors, starting out with Honeywell, who was our first sponsor. But along the way, we've had INQ, IBM, Google, just a lot of people have stepped forward, QuEra, and helped support our group, which is really important. So thank you for that. I think part of the reason why we started with the group is we did some research and we looked at how many women were actually executives in quantum companies. And out of 782 senior executives in quantum, we found out that 66 of them were women. And it just highlighted to us that there is a bit of a diversity issue, and we needed to form a community to try to start encouraging diversity and help women find opportunities in quantum computing. So the mission of our group is to equip our members and the wider community. So anybody who wants to come to our events is welcome, but to give them summits, digital assets, and we have a very strong mentoring program, as well as now we're doing some career support and financial support. So we've actually paid for some people to come to this event this year, and we want to continue to keep on doing things like that. And so our vision is that anybody who wants to be included in our group can be included no matter what their background or skills or gender or goal is. So you'll see it's a very inclusive group as you get more involved in it. I mentioned we've had 5 summits. We're actually one of the top 3 conferences in quantum tech globally. So it's amazing. We've had literally thousands of attendees. We have an incredible reach on social media. And we've have a career fair where we've actually have more than 9 hires, because I've had people stopping me today, telling me, and we've reached over 45 countries. So it's truly a worldwide group. And we're always looking for help to build our community. So if any of you work for a company and would like to provide some support, we'd love to get some support. So let's get on with today. I want to thank our sponsors. So we have sponsors for the Q2B event, starting off with QuEra. Very excited they're supporting the awards. We've had Microsoft, the Unitary Fund, INQ, Honeywell, Blue Force, and now Atom Computing. So a nice slate of supporters, which we're very grateful for. So what we wanted to do start out is introduce Dr. Alex Kiesling of QuEra, woo, and have Alex come up and present the awards, say a few words and present the awards. So come on up.
Thank you, Denise, and thank you everyone who made it here at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say after what Denise told us, right? I guess we met a few months ago. That was the first time I heard about women in quantum, and I thought, Jesus Christ, this is the best initiative I've heard about in a very long time. Over my time in physics, from even high school, undergrad, going to grad school, I noticed that I was always surrounded by bright people, and sadly, as time went on, fewer and fewer women. And it was clear that something was wrong and that something was discouraging half of the very bright people that I started hanging out with, almost, from continuing in their careers for something that I believe can be quite meaningful, and especially right now can be life-changing with quantum computing being where it is and where it's heading. So I heard about women in quantum, and immediately coming into QuEra, this was one of the things that I wanted to focus on, and to make sure that QuEra becomes a partner, and as much as possible, and a company that tries to change the world, not just through quantum computing, but also through representation. So when discussing what we could do for Q2B and for this co-hosted Women in Quantum event, the thing that made sense to me was to say, hey, let's recognize the amazing work that is happening already, and let's take a moment to highlight some of the people that are doing great stuff out there. And also give them visibility, to make sure that the people who are starting their careers see that there is a viable path to do the kinds of things that all of you are doing. It was, I must say, a little bit hard to narrow down our list of brilliant, amazing women in quantum to 5 for each of our 4 categories. And beyond that, it was great to see community engagement, voting for who they thought has done an outstanding job, and I'm very happy to be able to now hand out these awards. 3,500. That is probably more than the number of people that are going through the Q2B website.
Okay, so if you go to the next slide, so this is our first award.
First award, Entrepreneur of the Year. This is for Carmen Palacio Barraquero. She's the co-founder and CEO at OneQuantum, based in Cambridge, UK. Congratulations.
Carmen's going to say something. You want me to scoot over?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Thanks so much. So I've been told to say a few words. So written down some notes to try and not blabber on too much. So I'm CEO and co-founder of OneQuantum. We're a Cambridge spin-out, Cambridge UK. We do quantum networks for quantum computing, for distributed quantum computing. And well, I'm really honored, the first ever Women in Quantum Award. Thanks a lot to QuEra, to OneQuantum, and to Women in Quantum. And I thought that I would talk, instead of talking about how hard or not it is to be a woman entrepreneur in quantum, I thought I would talk about how important it is to build community, because that's essentially what we're doing here today. I think it's really devastating, the effect that not having community has. So I thought I would kind of give a bit of background of how I got here and how having support from my community was really important in getting there. I'm from Madrid, from Spain. I grew up there. I guess growing up already, my mom was always the one who brought in the big money, and my dad was the one who cooked. So that's already kind of relatively unusual place to start. And during high school in Madrid as well, this sounds really cliche, but it was my physics teacher, Paloma, who really kind of taught me physics and taught me a lot for physics. I always really loved physics and maths, and so did her. She got super excited about astrophysics, and she kind of supported me and gave me extra classes to get into the physics Olympiads and things like that. And and when once I got to the physics Olympiads, the whole group was run by this very kind of conservative man, and it was all spotty guys that made it really unpleasant. But getting there was good due to Paloma. And so she was really young, and she died of cancer a few years after I left school. So my PhD thesis is for her, and so is this award, I guess. So then moving on, I did my undergrad at Imperial College in London. Did physics there. I was sure that I was the dumbest person in the university. I don't know why. I guess it's because I was surrounded by these guys that acted like they understood everything. Once I realized that they didn't, once I actually kind of questioned them, like, can we go through this problem together because I don't understand this? And I realized that they actually didn't understand it either. They didn't understand any more than I did. So then that's when I kind of felt, empowered and started to actually excel. So that was, that kind of really shows you what insecurity and lack of confidence does to you. Funnily enough, in that cohort in physics, we were 30% women, which is really rare. I've heard in some of these talks, I've heard that 30% is the minimum percentage that you need for a minority not to feel like a minority. And so actually a lot of my friends in physics were women. And to this day, I have a group of badass physics women that are still doing technical work, as opposed to a lot of, I think, in other groups, whereas there's fewer women, less community, you end up leaving to kind of other non-technical jobs. So that was at Imperial, and then I moved to Cambridge. I did my PhD there. That was a really big change. Imperial is completely like apolitical and super kind of detached from politics. But Cambridge is the opposite. So there I kind of I discovered like feminism and completely changed my life and my way of like thinking about representation, diversity, politics, critical theory, queer theory, all these things. Whereas when I was at Imperial, I actually didn't identify as a feminist. I remember really clearly saying this one day walking like down Kensington High Street. So in Cambridge, I run the Women in Physics at the Cavendish for several years. And we did great things. We got interested in philosophy of science, which is actually something that I think it's something that quantum has a lot to give. I think quantum inspired philosophy is something that really attracts, really kind of vibes with queer people and with non-binary people and trans people. So we got interested in all of that. We set up a decolonizing physics reading group. We really kind of told off the head of department for many things, but that in the end I think was. So in the end, he's one of our main supporters. So I think he respected us for that. But there was a strong community there as well, in physics and outside. Being a CEO kind of happened. It kind of snowballed from having a patent to having someone that gives you a bit of money to having someone that wants to invest more to meeting co-founders, and then suddenly it became a really, really serious thing. So, in a few months, kind of, completely delved into founding New Quantum and leading it. We're now, so in the past year, we've grown from 3 to 17 people. We're backed by some of the best investors in the UK and in Europe. And now I guess the support comes from is not given to you. You have to really kind of find it. So I'm really happy to have people like Anne Glover, who's the co-founder and CEO of Amadeus, one of the most kind of well-recognized VC investors on my board. My mentor is someone called Harriet Green, who's the ex-CEO of IBM in Asia. And the team who is the New Quantum team, who is just amazing, coming from just all over the world and quite diverse. So I think at New Quantum we are 30% women, 25% people of color, and 20% queer, which is it's not great, but it's better than better than the average. I think we can all think of quantum companies that don't have a single woman outside of support roles. But there's a lot more to do. It's so of course people treat you a bit differently when you're a woman. I think if I stand in front of my investors explaining why I think we need to change direction, I've got less credibility than a male CEO, I think. But I know, I feel. But you've also got strong supporters, people that support you like to the end. And yeah, so I guess at this point, just to say, I think we're in an intimidating industry still, but there's a lot that we can do, and I think there's a lot that you guys are doing that is amazing. I think it's probably getting more difficult to come into quantum as an entrepreneur. If we look at what's been happening in the investment markets, there's not been very many new companies coming up in the last year or so. The number of deals is going down, actually, even though the amount being invested has gone up. Valuations have gone up, and deal size has gone up, but deal count has gone down, which means that it is more difficult to get in. But on the other hand, we have to grow massively in this industry, so it's an opportunity. And so I'm excited for what's to come for quantum on a technical and industry perspective. So the breakthrough use case and to see things like networking quantum computers together, which is what we're aiming to do. But also from the community side, I think we need to, if we talk about the quantum revolution, then it needs to be also from a kind of community building perspective as well, and kind of from how we manage and run our labs and our workspaces. So yeah, I think we all look forward to the day when we don't need a Women in Quantum award. But until then, I'm very happy to be the first recipient of it. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
You may want to take this with you. Carmen? Thank you, Carmen. Our next award is for the first ever Women in Quantum Builder of the Year. This is to recognize that there's a lot of people out there who are, helping us create these systems, not all of whom are scientists, but we're all building together. And the winner is Cristina Sanz from Multiverse in San Sebastián, Spain.
Hi, so I'm not Christina.
I'll still give this to you in representation.
I'm accepting it in lieu of Christina, so thank you so much. I work with Christina at Multiverse Computing, and we're incredibly happy to have her with us. Maybe I should post with the award. It's yes, so she asked me to say that she asked me to really salute the work that Women in Quantum are doing, that it's incredibly necessary for the community, and that it's incredibly timely as well in her own experience. She's felt that this was giving a lot of visibility to women in quantum that was extremely necessary at the moment. So to tell you a little bit about Multiverse, we're a fintech company. We're Spanish-Canadian, and working mainly with banks currently. And our strategy is to build software through proof of concepts with them, and then all this IP that we're creating, we're building out into a toolbox that we'll then license out to other companies. Christina has been working with us, so she's our internal INQ expert, and she's also our internal quantum enhanced Monte Carlo experts, which are obviously two incredibly exciting and very difficult, technically complex subjects. And we're really happy that we actually brought out recently a paper that she was the first author on quantum enhanced Monte Carlo that has been a bit of a journey getting this published. We've had to take the paper apart about 4 times and reform it because of clients and collaborators and things like that. But it came out finally last week. And all that to say, we're incredibly happy to have her on our team. She's really been a fantastic addition, adding value from day one. So thanks very much, and I can't wait to give this to her next time I see her in person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next on our list, we have the leading female community creator of the year 2021, and the award goes to Francisca Vasconcelos from Oxford University, Qubit by Qubit.
And she's not here
is
today,
not here.
but we send her the award. She's tremendous, so well deserved.
And of course, last but not least, we have the leading female researcher of the year 2021. And this goes to Marina Radolaski from UC Davis. Professor Radolaski, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for this professional honor. It is really great to see my group's research on quantum nanophotonics recognized here at Q2B, as well as within the community I care about, which is OneQuantum, that I've been partaking in past 2 years. I think we all agree that optics brings quite unique capabilities to quantum technologies. And what my group does is build the integrated quantum hardware for applications in quantum communications, measurement-based quantum computing, nanoscale sensing, and analog quantum simulation. Now, I would also like to underscore how important it is to have a way to bring women and diverse folks together in quantum, and so that we can see each other and learn from each other. And I'm really grateful to be nominated with a cohort of women that I've been quite inspired by in past year. And even more importantly, I think having girls and junior women and diverse folks in the field see us and see what we do and imagine that maybe they want to join the community is really important. I think we want to recruit and retain as many people as possible. We have a really big opportunity with quantum technologies as it's a nascent field, and we can do it right from the start. I would also like to underscore how important it is to have good role models, and I've been quite lucky to have my PhD advisor, Jelena Vučković at Stanford, as a role model going along in research. And I aspire to be a good role model to graduate and undergraduate women and other students in both my research group and my graduate and undergraduate courses. I've noticed at Q2B that a lot of people are looking for talent, and this is something that we are tackling at UC Davis by building out the whole pipeline from innovative quantum coursework, where actually we have a lot of students asking about internships, to interdisciplinary monthly meetings where people share ideas and start new projects and really go more into details, but which is also a safe space for asking basic questions. And I think this is really important in terms of inclusion, because at scientific conferences, we go and ask really hard questions. But if someone is new to the field, we try to make it very easy to ask, hey, what's a qubit in this system? And so with that also, I would like to mention that we think also about middle school and high school students and try to draw them to our area. So we have outreach activities in, say, Woodland High School and some other communities in the greater Sacramento area. So with that, I would really like to thank both the OneQuantum and QuEra for highlighting our work this year. We are very honored. Thank you.